Dude!
Dude, that was sick.
Holy
That was-
shit.
That was so good. I could watch that so many times.
Dude, I know. When I first
So
saw
many
that,
times.
I was like, that's the name. That's the name. Gathering Hall. I wasn't sure until I saw that. And for those who don't know, Ryan made that. Ryan made that, bro.
It was a group effort. It was a group effort.
What do you mean? I didn't do anything.
We
Wilson,
tossed
did you
around
do?
some names. I don't know. You guys were inspiration.
I didn't do much. I made like,
Bro.
I think originally like everyone was like, you guys should do a podcast, and then we started throwing ideas around, and some of them started to stick. So pretty crazy. Here we are.
Hell yeah.
Crazy, dude. Oh, that intro is so fucking good, man.
This is the beginning, boys. This is the beginning.
I think we should just keep watching that, honestly.
Yeah, can we, at least one more time. No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
Holy shit. All right, Ryan, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, all right, gamers. Welcome to the first episode of the Gathering Hall podcast. This is the start to what I hope is going to be a reoccurring podcast throughout the entire lifetime of Dark and Darker. This is episode 1. It is very much a trial run. We have put together a set of topics, as well as grabbed some topics from the community. You're going to see in the top left of the screen a topic list. This list is shared throughout all the streams. You know, every now and then we'll bring a new guest. We swapping out the host for the podcast, but we have it set up in such a way that these will be edited live. So if you missed some topics, need to go back in the VOD, or maybe you're seeing on YouTube, you can see these cross out and I get uncrossed, and we'll highlight what we're talking about throughout the video. So don't worry about being here right on time. You're gonna capture it all. Of course, since this is the first episode, we are gonna introduce ourselves. I am Ryan 6 Days a Week. I've been playing this game for over a year now. Love every bit of the game. It's my favorite game by far, and the reason why I'm into the scene is I personally make some guide videos, get the new players onboarded into the game. That's kind of my thing. Wilson, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Wilson, Ryan's enemy, I guess you could say. Arch rival. Can't believe I'm sitting here on a podcast with him once again after all we've been through, but no, I think I kind of said at the start, we had some like crazy ideas. I was always interested in a way to present information to the community that was like a podcast. I love the other podcasts that happen. And I thought, why can't we just present the ideas in like a format where it's like they're there, you know what we're talking about, and you can get kind of the juice that you want out of it. So fortunately for me, 2 other really good content creators, Soapy and Ryan, decided that they also like this idea. And here we are. Chat seems to be excited, and we're just going to hammer out a bunch of questions, so I'm excited. I've been doing this for probably, over a year now, it seems? Like, I wasn't a father before this started. And it just keeps getting deeper and deeper, this whole Dark and Darker thing, so excited. Soapy, you're next.
Right.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm seriously Soapy. Dark's my favorite game ever played before in my life. Used to do game dev. I do 1v3 and 1v2 content, a lot of role play, spectator games now too, host some tournaments, and could not be more excited to just yap about the game. I think most importantly, that's what I do. I yap. I'm a little bit of a yapper, so super excited to do this podcast. Ryan and Wilson are like, when I was thinking about like the two dudes that I would eventually start doing trios with, I'm like, oh yeah, it's these guys, dude. They just care about having fun, and we love talking about the game. So really happy to get into it. All right, can I kick it off? Can I kick it off with just one thing?
Definitely.
Okay, for those who have been watching, we've been doing some spectator games, which is some of the most fun that you can have in Dark and Darker is just like seamlessly like kind of integrate yourself into like what the average player might experience by just like watching them play. And we've been watching this one guy named Steven. We've been watching Steven for like, I don't even know how many games now, like 20 plus games. We've been watching this guy just get better and improve. And from the start, too, I think we saw some of his like earliest games, dude. And today we actually got to interview him in the dungeon because I was going around interviewing people about multi-classing. He never spoke, but he could hear me. He had VoIP enabled. So he just was nodding yes and no. So this is going to be a good segue, I think, into maybe the first topic. Is I asked him, I'm like, Steven, do you like multi-class? He shook his head no faster than I've seen anyone shook their head no. And then, I asked about gear-based matchmaking and like that. However, what I wanted to get to kind of segue into our first topic is I've interviewed about 4 to 5 people about whether they liked multi-classing or not. And pretty much everyone in the dungeon, keep in mind this is like Normal's Goblin Cave or whatever, pretty much it was a unanimous like, no, they didn't really like it. There was maybe one guy who said he missed using like, I think he missed using like a certain weapon or something on a certain class. But for the most part, dude, and like these guys were like, appeared to be like the more casual players, because I also asked them like, hey, do you play like high roller? Do you go in the 300 plus lobbies? And most of them said they rarely play high roller, and they never go into the 300 plus gear scores.
Yeah,
so it kind of seems like for the average player, they didn't even really care for multi-classing whatsoever.
And the one guy you interviewed that I saw said that upper lobbies are cringe. Like 300 plus are cringe, and I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. Yeah, I had a good laugh at that.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think everyone's pretty excited to see multi-classing go, which is a weird thing to say because it's like it was our content for a week. But
Ryan, can you invite me really quick?
Oh yeah.
So I think like first, are we gonna talk like patch quickly? Like multi-classing,
Sure.
Multi-classing is now gone, which essentially was the patch. So yeah, I mean, at first I enjoyed it. It was good for like 2 or 3 days. There was some stuff I wanted to try.
Overtime.
And then it kind of turned like just like sour quickly. And even like, I mean, the only thing that's kept me somewhat enjoying it was the trios that we were playing. But solos were a struggle. Everyone's just going for that meta stuff, which is, I mean, it's kind of what they said they wanted to avoid with subclassing. Everyone just taking the meta pick. And then multi-classing was like the same ordeal because they opened it up to everybody. Yeah. So, not sure how they re-implemented, but I'm back to fighting barbarians and warlocks. Just normal barbarian warlocks, not like rage, sprint warlocks and stuff.
Ryan, what do you think?
Overall, I probably expressed this like a million times, so people know my answer, but not a big fan of multi-class. I think it is fun for a week. It's great for a week. And that's like the limit, at least in this first iteration of multi-classing. And then it's solved. People have like the best builds. And if you're not running those top 3 builds, you can't even compete. Like you're just like toast. I can't even speak on behalf of the new players who like entered in the game during this multi-class phase.
Oh yeah.
It's impossible. Like just learning how to play the game in general is very difficult. It's a very high skill floor, and like now you have classes who are using abilities from other classes that you probably haven't even fought yet. It's just a mess. Very hard to get new players in. So I think this first iteration was fun for the veterans who might have run out of things to do for a week.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it does need to be reworked.
Yeah. Don't forget already up to, right? So we can get in there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the one thing that just stood out for me is like, I still had fun like with the game for sure. But like the thing that stood out to me is like you could already get, gear diff in this game, right? And then now there was like a meta starting to evolve where you can get like build diff, like if you didn't have like the right multi-class build or whatever, you were you were falling behind. So I feel like it lowered the skill ceiling, or maybe it more so affected like the skill floor. Maybe that's like a better way of wording it or something. But yeah, I don't know. I do. Okay, one thing I will say though, bro, I do respect them. I do respect that they like. That's crazy that they threw something like that in the game. I know some people have said that they kind of lost some respect with Iron Mace because they did some wacky stuff. I get that.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
that.
I guess like
okay.
the big argument is like they always, anytime you see anything new that people don't like, it's like they wasted time. Everyone gets mad like they're wasting their time and they could be doing other things that are more important.
Yeah.
That's always the argument. Doesn't matter what new exciting things that someone enjoys, someone else is saying, well, they wasted time on that. And I think multiclassing is like one of those things where they're like, everyone just thinks it's a waste of time, but they're telling us the opposite, that they gained a lot of value from doing it. So yeah,
What is
I mean,
the info you think they gained? What is that juicy little secret sauce? What is that? What is that?
I think some of the stuff I think right off is like the interaction between certain perks and skills, maybe on certain like utility items and weapons and
Yeah.
don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question.
Yeah, because nothing. I'll be honest, like, dude, like nothing like immediately comes to mind when I think of like, okay, like what was like gained. Yeah, like you could say the combos. But isn't the learning of like what combos are bad like kind of irrelevant because the combos only exist in multi-class. So it's like, but I guess they said they want to bring it back in the future, but like a more diluted version, which I think is okay. But yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
So the other thing with the patch, I don't know. What's the topic list here? Where are we headed? Because the other patch
about femboys and cat girls.
Because the patch was basically like they removed multiclassing and then they adjusted geared-based matchmaking. That was the big things from what I saw from the patch. And like now we can see our gear score in the lot, like in our Squire, I think, or even with like
even hit tab. You can see it right now. If you
right
hit
at the
tab,
bottom,
you can see your gear score. Crazy.
So that's
like,
yeah. So they're leaning into GBMM more rather than like. I feel like this just means it's here to stay. Like,
dude.
If they're adding in like gear score as a thing we now know, it's here to stay, right?
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, because like, okay, the thing is, like when we ran into, so we were playing trios yesterday, right? And we ran into a team that was using 5 artifacts. Like, you know, I'm telling Chad, obviously you two know that. Like, we ran into a team that had 5 artifacts, bro. Like, like those. You're telling me that those guys are gonna be like up against, you know, like a squad of like Timmies or something like what do those guys even do? But I do understand there is like a big like avenue or like a amount of people who want like everyone and everything, and like that's the like you queue up the high roller, you know what you're getting yourself into. You could run into anyone.
Yeah.
And I get that, but I do wonder if it's like, is that fun for anyone? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, before, like when the leaderboard grind was happening, it almost made like Repose and Jay quit the game. Like,
yeah,
they were just running HR into nobody. I almost died. Holy shit. So yeah, that's been a while since we've been at that stage, but I remember back then it was like, this is no fun for anyone because I'm just killing teamies every time.
Yeah.
I honestly don't mind gear-based matchmaking. I just don't enter into the 300 plus. You know?
Man.
I just don't go up there.
Okay. Fuck.
Which maybe is a problem. I don't know.
I gotta admit, doing like the 1v2 stuff in like the 300 plus lobbies, and then doing like trios and like 299s and 1v3 and 299s, like, dude, it's like it's like perfect for me. So it's kind of hard to like. It's kind of hard to like argue against it. I don't know, man. But like, I don't know. I do know some people don't like it though, for sure. I think it's like definitely a 50-50 thing. But maybe because you know how like multi-classing was also like a little bit 50-50. I feel like I feel like the 50% that didn't like multi-classing though were like super loud about it. They were like,
Yeah.
they didn't
Yeah.
dislike it. They hated it.
Like I said, originally when gear-based matchmaking first dropped, it's probably the most positive I've seen the Reddit in a long time. Because like people were getting games, people just weren't getting stomped repeatedly in the by super geared players in Goblin Caves and stuff. So it's weird that the initial reaction was like seemed really positive, and then the more information we take in, the more I hear people hate it, which kind of surprises me because it's not something I hate. It's good. It's better, I think, than what we had before.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, okay, what if there's this matchmaking once the game's out on Steam, but, like, just currently, with, like, the player base that we have available...
Yeah, the player base is the
maybe
big...
we just...
Yeah,
maybe we just can't. We just can't have any sort of matchmaking while, like, before the game comes out on Steam. But once it's out, like, screw it. Yeah, I think it could work really well once the game's out on Steam. But
That's true, yeah. Makes me like more bread.
Not enough players? Yeah.
Once... Then how could that bracket be changed other than the way it is now? Like, if there's just 2 brackets in HR, how else could it be changed? I don't think 300 plus and then 299 below is the worst or anything, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Like, how bad do you think it'd feel if there's only one map? Like, do you think if there was only one map, like, let's say Crips, solo, or trios? That's it. Like, do you think? Remember they tried to reduce and get rid of duos before, and then I feel like we're splitting. There's just a lot of splitting, right? So now we get gear-based matchmaking splitting lobbies. We got all these map splitting lobbies. We got 3 separate queues because solo, duo, trios. I don't think it's a problem if we have like just one map to play, but we could be getting another map soon, like an addition onto Frost maps. People are gonna want to play that.
I'm not too sure how I feel about the map thing, because, like, I'm totally the type of dude where I could play Crips all day, every day, and be happy. But I know that some people don't like... There's actually a lot of people who don't like Crips for PvP, because it's, like, door close simulator or whatever. I've heard that, actually, pretty often.
If you're in Goblin Caves, it can be like that. But everyone there's always a barbarian with Crush, so there's only so many doors you can go behind.
I don't know, like... Yeah, okay. This is kind of a little bit of a random segue that's not on our topic list, which I was totally expecting would happen anyway. Do you guys think they should have removed duos? Like, what if they did do that? I don't think so, just judging by the reaction people had, but listen, dude, there's a part of me, there's just this, like, very small part of me, very small, that wonders what the game would just be like if they kept it trios only. Oh shit! We got tangos, boys! We got tangos!
Oh god.
Podcast! Holy shit!
I hit him once. I was trying to adjust my shadows.
They heard
a discussion here, man.
The duos thing. Wait, champs on him.
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
We can't stop the topic, dude.
Yeah, we can't. Part of the rules. So you were saying about removing duos. Okay.
Do they keep duos?
Honestly, I never played duos, so I'm pretty biased when I say they could probably remove it.
Really? Okay, I think they have to keep it. I think they have to. There's a little bit of a bait.
This wizard's won.
Like number of players play duos.
It is. It's a crazy high number, yeah. Right, you have to 1v3.
Okay. I blame the recent patch on that one. I was adjusting my shadow settings before that whole shit show happened.
True.
So yeah, not too worried about duos, I guess, but that's just because I don't play them much.
Yeah, there's a huge player base for it, so I think they have to keep it, I think. But I was just saying, I wonder what the game would have been like if they never added anything but just trios. You know what I mean? Like, just in hindsight, like, okay, like, what would the game have been like if they never added it in? I don't know. Yeah. It's interesting to think about. Obviously, they can't get rid of solos. They can't get rid of duo. The game's just different now, because then the whole game would just way different. It wouldn't even be the same thing.
Yeah.
Already up. This is Warlord, boys. We're Warlord
Yeah.
while podcasting. I could.
So do you want to jump into like after we're done with kind of the patch discussion? We want to do our first topic, like actual official. Are we gonna do just before just a little bit of housekeeping? Are we gonna do like a viewer topic? If people have like we talked, me and Ryan talked about this before the podcast, but we were thinking about doing a chat generated topic at the end. Like,
Sure.
Everyone submitted something you want to talk about. We maybe pick one for the final little bit.
Yeah, sure.
We could poll it, we could whatever, but I do think it's important to take like at least one live question. But
Oh yeah. I'm sure between all of them, I'm sure they got at least one good idea.
probably, yeah.
It's gotta be
Probably.
something.
That'd be something, you know. Yeah, we can hop into the
I
whatever.
might have to
the first one is.
restart game. Oh,
Start off with talking about Druid. Like, do you just want to say when we think Druid's gonna come out? How we feel about that boy?
Yeah, we can do Druid first. We have player retention as yours, but we'll do Druid.
Oh yeah, wait. Actually, you know what, let's keep it nice and
we can do Druid.
Professional and in the order. Let's keep it in the order.
All right.
We gotta have the structure. Okay, player retention. So this was one of mine, right? So something that I've kind of been thinking about is like all these guys who grind the game. Okay, all these guys who grind in the game, they slave away on the game, they got all the gear, all the stuff, they're super good. I really feel like they're gonna play the game regardless. You know what I mean? They love the game, they're addicted to the game. Even when they're frustrated at the game, they still play with it. Obviously, there's certain things that might make them leave or whatever. But I really care about how do we actually retain the players who do try the game out? How do we retain the Stevens? The guys who are just starting now. And the one method that I would like to kind of talk to you guys about to see what you guys would think is a tutorial. If there was a dark and darker tutorial or something to just help with that player retention a little bit of a new player, what do you think it should be?
Obviously send them into the upper geared lobbies right away.
Right away.
Give them a bunch of reward tokens so they have to wear this gear, and then force them to play up there. And see how it goes. That's a tough one. I think a tutorial has been something that people have mentioned a lot. I even think Derp. I think Derp Wiggles is still around the community. He was saying that the mobile has a tutorial. The mobile version of Dad has one.
Wow. Wait, the mobile version does.
I think that's. Maybe I mixed something up there, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw today. And I think on other podcasts they've talked about before too, where it's the Hunt Showdown has a tutorial, or at least some sort of way of introducing you to the game, without you just dying repeatedly. But it's weird because I say that thinking, yeah, that's a great idea. But then when I first started Dark and Darker, I played Barbarian and didn't escape to level 10. I just went in there fighting everything, dying repeatedly, and I thought it was amazing. So. It's so weird because I'm no longer that new player, so I don't know what I don't know what their experience is. Is that fun, or are we just special sorts that enjoy that type of punishment? Not sure.
I was gonna say,
you go, right?
I was they've added a lot since our days, since we first started the game. Because now, even with just the attributes, learning those first 5, what they actually did, I think that took me a little bit. There was no YouTube vids when I first started. Now there's dexterity, and there's we're supposed to do some weird stuff with the skill cooldowns. It's having that baseline knowledge, among a million other things you have to learn when you first start the game. But it's a pretty steep curve.
Yeah. And if you really want to win PvP, just do Slayer Fighter and normals. That's it. Move on.
Yeah. See, the thing that strikes to me is, again, I think if a new player dies to a mob, they don't really care. They'll just say fucking and queue up again. But if a new player dies to some guy in Gig Abyss, they're gonna raise their eye. They're gonna be okay, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? You're gonna be yeah, do I really want to try this again? This guy just took me one shot, and was screaming at me like a madman.
So right now they have you can't queue in HR to level 20, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You think that's been a positive thing, or because that's kind of holding their hands for a bit at least. I remember it used to be wasn't it level 15 before? You can do that?
Like that.
Yeah.
I think all of us think it's a bad idea, but it might be a good idea for the new players. But, it's bad for us because we want to be able to go into high roller whenever we want or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So again, like that's something that would help it. So like that player never runs into the type of guy that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, it's interesting to know what their numbers are, because there's all this hidden data, and they've talked about like who's playing what maps more. I'm assuming they have like data on player retention across all the maps, across all the classes. You'd think, wouldn't you? So like if they see people like no one's playing Rogue, and they're just like, damn, okay, no new players like Rogue. I wonder if they have all those tools to make like adjustments that way, you know?
They definitely have the tools. Yeah, I would imagine so.
If they're like, man, no new players are sticking around after the recent changes to, you know, X, Y, and Z with the normal lobbies or the high roller lobbies, and I think at this point, like, have we done enough testing on those early lobbies? We even did like, remember the old blue gear cap?
Oh,
you know,
Ever.
so like,
Do I ever?
they would have been, you'd think, like collecting all that since then. So I'm wondering if we're starting to get close to where they think we need to be. I don't know.
Yeah, so like, yeah, like those guys are the type of guys where I'm like, okay, you know, like maybe I don't like that. I can't do permadeath and high roll or whatever, but it's like, who even cares about that? You know, as long as like that guy who's like making a new character is able to, you know, enjoy the game and play the game, you know, without getting gear diffed or running into HR with a guy with like 800 gear score or whatever. Not that gear score is always the best indication of how good the gear is. You know.
The one thing that can be a little frustrating if I was like a new player and I did some questing and then I can't use my questing gear until level 20.
That's a good point.
So you're getting all these little nice things that you can just stare at, which is probably a little frustrating. So maybe they just make some of like the early quests like just give you money, or I don't know, maybe they just improve it a bit so that your pre-level 20 questing you actually can use the stuff you've been awarded. That's probably just a questing system.
Such a good point. Holy crap. Yeah, what do those guys do with all that? They have one stash tab, so I guess, you know, they use that money towards like the, you know, the
potions and meds.
But like they can't sell the crazy gear they get on the marketplace, nor would they even understand how much it's worth, probably. So it's like, what do they even do with all that stuff? That's actually a really good point. I never even thought of that.
Wasn't as bad because you could just like run into an HR game and die to something or whatever, but now you literally can't. So that's just probably an oversight with the questing when it was first dropped.
Damn, yeah, I don't know what they did about that though.
I guess it'd just be like whites, you know? You get white gear.
Your first quest rewards.
Yep. I don't know, or lockpicks or something. Like lockpicks or I have no idea.
Lockpicks is a good one. Lockpicks is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Magic.
Like that.
Just like get some like dashing boots.
Okay, it's, you know, so makes a good point that, you know, getting level 20 does only take, you know, like takes so much less time than it used to, so that is true.
Yeah.
I think even when I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of thinking about the old system where it, you know, takes a little while. So
yeah, it's not too bad anymore, really.
Maybe like you can't go into HR until you get one character to level 20.
Okay,
like, having it character bound is kind of weird.
That's true. Yeah, it should be an account thing for sure.
Yeah.
And then, okay, for the last part of like this thing, if there was a tutorial, what's like the one thing that you guys would want the new players to have access to in a tutorial? Like one thing that could be shown to them or have them experiment with.
Like, would it be like a few mobs, right? Because that's probably gonna be their biggest challenge right off the start.
Because the one thing that Hunt does is it gives you this like little artificial map, right? That you kind of like. You just kind of wander around in a little bit.
Yep.
We got a team in here. So Hunt gives you like a little bit of like a fake map setup or whatever. We got two rangers here.
They're getting shit on right now. Oh yeah, they're getting cooked by the warlock though.
I shot the ranger.
Oh, okay. I thought I could duck that.
Oh yeah, little team kill. Wait, 1v3 Wilson.
Oh, He's bitch.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah, Wilson!
Come on.
Oh, wait, this guy actually.
Oh yes!
Let's go, baby!
Let's go! Let's go!
He's going crazy!
Oh, that dude's solo. That dude's solo.
Oh, come on.
Fuck the podcast for a second. Kill this motherfucker.
Oh, I need sprint.
Wilson. Kill this motherfucker. What? Zombie behind you or whatever? There you go. Oh yeah.
Got him. He's dead. Get wrecked. They're definitely new players, never coming back to the game. Yep.
Yeah, you need to teabag the warlock. You need to.
I can't. This is a family-friendly podcast. These guys have jobs, man.
Holy shit.
All right, so now I just like go die in a corner somewhere, right?
Hey, you do whatever.
Here
We
we
just
go.
keep yapping. Hey, you do whatever.
Player
Surely
attention.
You solo lich, surely.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so wait, what? I can't even remember. Did you guys give a thing for like the one thing you would like to see for a
Mobs.
player
I was
in the
thinking like
tutorial?
maybe like I'm just thinking Elden Ring where you fight a decently hard mob. Like you put I don't know if you put
The
Skelly Champ.
Soldier of Godric or whatever.
Yeah, like
Whatever his name was.
not the one that's like meant to kill you, but like in the little tutorial area there you get like a mob that you can fight that's like decently challenging. So
Okay, yeah.
it can't just be like mummies or something. It needs to be something a bit tougher. Maybe like red skeleton even. In
Okay.
there, you know, just to
Alright.
compare them because they're going to be in the normal dungeon. They will run into those.
Interesting. Okay. Ryan, is there anything?
Yeah, probably a similar thing, like a level specific to just like learners. Like you have like what was saying, like a mob in there. You have like a health shrine, and then you have a door that needs to be unlocked that leads to like a skelly champ or
Like a
something.
lockpick minigame.
Yeah.
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 'Cause, like if you think
Okay.
like now, if you're new to this game, you go into Goblin Caves, you open that first door, you have like a bola slinger goblin facing you, a sword goblin facing you, and then 30 seconds later you have like 3 dudes in that room just like punching you in the head. Like you're not gonna learn
Yeah.
anything from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if there's like something that like the player can learn within like a little 10-minute tutorial that'll stick with them. Something that'll like stick with them will be really good. Something that like really replicates like normal gameplay.
Yeah.
Something that I think is really good. Okay, cool.
Alrighty, we beat the
Topic
horse
number
to death.
2.
Flogged the horse enough. Yeah, the Druid. This is one of mine.
Druid.
The Druid, yes. It kind of segues nicely into, I think, Ryan's topic as well coming after this, but I'm not going to spoil it. Personally, I think originally I was kind of surprised how many people, like, their first reaction to Druid was just, like, hate. Like, I don't know how else to word it, but, like, I
I
see...
didn't even see that.
There's... I don't know. There was quite a few, like... maybe I'm watching the wrong streamers, but... there's quite a few people that are just, like, really worried. And they're like, what are they doing with all these, like, different forms? Like, rat form is, like, a huge concern for a lot of people, obviously, because rat rogues tend to piss off all these people when they're stealing their gear, so now they actually have a rat they can turn into. So some of those things were happening, and, but personally, like, when I look at Druid, I get kind of excited. Without the shapeshifting, I think Druid alone by itself, with, like, the spells and the perks, looks like a lot of fun. Maybe too much fun. Like, maybe it's gonna be too good. But I think back to, like, early Bard and how boring it was to play, and how early Warlock was just, like, very, very bland. And, like, look where Warlock is now. Like, how long did that take for us to get from, like, Warlock from then till, like, Warlock with, like, the recent changes to Shadow Touch and all these things? Same with Bard. I mean, the first introduction of Bard was, like, very, very bare bones. And it took a long time to get that second iteration, which was, like, super broken, which could potentially be Druid. But my thing is, like, we might be getting, like, a more complete class than any of the other ones that have dropped. It's taking a lot longer. Obviously, I think they said December they wanted, like, a working version, but, like, my impression of what they meant was, like, you might get one shapeshift. Like, that might have been December, right? And then they're like, you know what, we're going to do Demon Lock first, see how that looks and how it feels in the game, and then we're going to keep working on all these forms. So I'm personally not that upset it's taking time. I'm just a little surprised how many people are, like, fearful of it joining the game. I think it's gonna be fun. I mean, that's what the game is supposed to be. So
Yeah.
it may become
Like,
a little broken for a bit, but overall I think it's good. So
Dude, I'm like, I think we can all agree. Like, there's a lot of disagreements within the Darker community, but I think we can all agree though that the shape shifting itself is a lot more seamless than anyone
Yeah,
thought it was
maybe
gonna be.
too seamless would be my one
Yeah.
concern. Yes.
Like, dude, like the Warlock form from Warlock, and then all the Druid like beast transformations. Like, dude, that is. Oh, we should probably back out of this lobby once we get in. There is no one in here. But all those formations are like so seamless. It's crazy.
It's
But
nice.
yeah, like
Yeah, did a good job.
yeah, like I don't know about you guys. I mean, you were kind of saying that, Wilson, but like I didn't think that we were gonna get bear, rat,
Yeah.
chicken, and panther. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I was thinking maybe bear, maybe rat, and that's it, bro.
A few hours before it dropped, I had like this little like worry in my head that was like, if they only have like one form, like I'm imagining, like we only get bear form during this test, they're just gonna there's gonna be hell to pay all over the general chat and the Reddit and stuff. But there's a lot there, and I think it's good. So we'll see.
Yeah, like it. Like I feel like when they first announced Bard, like it was like very like unique. But I don't think it was like probably like the most like fun like seeming class. Again, I kind of have a weird perspective on classes or whatever. But and same with Warlock, it didn't really seem that fun. Like oh, there actually is people in here. But dude, like the potential for like fun and like interesting engagements with Druid, whether you're a Druid or fighting a Druid, is probably the most substantial of any class they've released. Like it's goofy, and I think it fits the goofiness of the game. Personally, I know some people might not be able to take it serious.
Yeah,
that.
I made the comment like
opinion, goofy game.
So the chickens look like a Skyrim mod at times because like you're just like it's just a bunch of chickens beating the shit out of each other in the corner, and it's hilarious. Like I have a good laugh, but it did feel like a different game when you're doing all Druid, instant transformation. But Ryan, what do you think? Concerned? Excited?
Oh, sorry, I like lagged a little bit there. I am.
We lost them.
We lost you for a second. Alright, we're on the Druid. Sorry, I did not get much of what happened.
Oh, we were just asking what you think about Druid, just overall, really.
Druid. So, yeah, Druid right now, and I heard about the shape-shifting seamless. They did a really good job on that. I think overall, yeah, it's like the most complete, like a work-in-progress class that we will ever get in this game. Like, there's just so much going on with it, especially with the healing spells. I think it's got
those spells are good.
Yeah, those spells are so strong. And I don't know. There's a lot of people who always want higher time to kill, but I think having Druid in with a high time to kill is just like a recipe for disaster. Because like two classes now that have an AoE heal, like the two Druid spells, the fights are just gonna be like, who kept the most heals from like the last fight. That's gonna be the winner.
Yeah, I'm always a little concerned with healing. Again, super biased. I'm a ranger damage player. Super biased, of course. But like, just the fact of like clerics and now potentially druids maybe being able to like heal mistakes just over and over again.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, like last night when the guy gets stuck in the door on top of the Hydra, and you quick shot him, switch bows, hit him 2 more times, and he's still alive because the cleric's just like, he's not gonna die. I'm not gonna let him die.
Yeah,
he can stay there floating in the air forever, and you can't kill him. I have so much healing.
This one's a little bit of a it's a decent segue, but it might be a topic that's too deep, so maybe we don't talk about it too long. So there was a rumor of like recoverable HP only healing. So how would we feel if healing from clerics and druids was only recoverable HP and not like all forms of HP?
What about second wind?
Biased?
What about second wind? If you don't touch second wind, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Poor cleric players.
I would love it.
Just for you,
personally.
I think there could also be a bit more stuff like blow corruption, and I think famine isn't famine the one artifact or named weapon that actually does like reduce healing or something, or makes it so you can't heal. I think there's fire. I think there's fire mastery too.
Fire mastery, blow corruption, and then famine.
Yeah. So right now it doesn't feel like there's a lot of ways to reduce a team's healing. Like cleric can just go behind a corner in sanctuary whenever. And it's just so huge. And I mean, the class that benefits most from it's like barbarian. if they make any misplay and kind of get out of position, they can kind of get close, get a bunch of heals, go back in full rage. So I think for a long time, the community that plays trios has wanted like buff ball to no longer be a thing, and if it's recoverable healing, that would change it dramatically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting. All right.
I think we could test
Druid?
it. No, I'm excited for it to be in the game, and I can't wait when they drop Druid in Steam in like a week.
Yeah, Druid and
big things. They said big things. 30 minutes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one thing, the last thing I'll say about Druid, hopefully it's not too much of a yap, is like, man, I love the rat tech through the window.
It's so crazy.
I love it. I love it.
It's so silly.
I think it's so much more interesting than just letting the rat travel through the door, and it's actually a form of like a bit of skill expression. It takes a little bit to get used to it, and like it's so fun to like execute a play from it or like retreat from a player, but I'm sure it feels horrible on the receiving end. So they would have to make it so you can't like spam in and out of human and rat. Like, you know, there'd have to be a little bit of some sort of cooldown or whatever, but like maybe you can just land like one every like, you know, 10 seconds. That's like super skill timing, and it changes the tide of the fight or something. That could be
heads up behind us.
I'm gonna open this door. Oh, they missed.
We're both open.
Oh, that's good. All right, we're gonna have to run around. There's gonna be mobs chasing us. So my shadows are still fucked, so it's like I'm shooting into a dark hallway.
You need to reset your game after this.
Yeah, well.
Wait, is that what fixes it?
I guess so.
You put your settings on epic, and then you restart your game.
Oh, Ryan, he's coming through the door. He's in.
Oh yeah, they're in.
I got win this or something.
Oh, this is gonna get very complicated. We could always duck under too. Yeah.
Hit the fighter with second wind. He's one shot. Never mind. Not one shot. What the fuck?
Oh, he's dead now.
Killed one.
I'm coming to you. I'm gonna fight this barbarian. Shit.
Alright, fighters, somewhere over there with the cross. Yeah, I'm one shot. I'm just gonna like.
Find you.
Oh, shoot, he's right here.
Who's that? What?
Jukin. Hey, I'm gonna jump down.
Yeah, jump down. Everybody jump down. Down we go, boys.
Alright. He's coming with you.
Oh, he here.
Oh, shoot, he is. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh no, mob hit me.
Hit him. He has to be. Yeah, let's go.
Nice.
Holy shit. Where's the other guy?
Barbarian I headshot once with a spear.
Okay. Take your time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run in circles and heal, so.
Alright. I'm gonna reload the windlass. Oh, I see him.
I don't know how, but I blocked his fucking... Oh, he's right here. He's on me.
Alright, come on. Can you come back to me?
Sure. Oh. Punched him. Just gave him a good old wallop. He's coming to you.
Hit him.
Oh, poor man. This room, the frames, though. Have you guys noticed that recently?
You got all the mobs. I'm gonna go res Ryan.
Oh, the frames are rough. I got all the mobs.
What were we talking about? Okay,
Druid combination's over, yeah. So we're on to the next one. This is Ryan's topic, which is perfect because he's doesn't have to. He just sits around waiting for a res. That's all.
I was gonna say, yeah, so this one I came up with today because by competition in the genre, chat, this is I'm talking about Dungeonborn specifically, which I think is the last existing game out there that's kind of like a looter shooter full.
There's a rogue on me.
Loot.
Careful.
Oh, yeah,
He's coming to you. I'm sorry, Ryan.
Keep going, Ryan. Keep going.
Jesus. I think they went into this.
No, he's up the lift. He's up the lift. Yeah.
But yeah, so basically what happened this week was they released a very short teaser that showcased like, I forgot, it's like a pyromancer, I think is the exact name of it. But it's like one of the classes in game. And in that teaser, they also showed a panther.
Okay, yeah.
Jumping out.
A panther.
Wait, did he just go back up?
No. There's just so many mobs.
Insane amount of mobs on your
Okay, yes.
Oh, no, the fucking rogue.
Back down here.
This little bastard. He hates Dungeonborn. He just doesn't want us to talk about it. He doesn't want us to talk about it. I understand
Yeah,
him.
we gotta kill these mobs. Yeah. Okay. So basically, Dungeonborn is making a druid, right? That's basically what.
Druid, yeah.
Okay.
And they released it 1 week after Druid went live on.
Oh, of course, right.
So I think they're just like
Rogues
pushing
here.
for it, they're gunning for it.
Yep.
Like want to make like some sort of impression.
What was the? Do you know what the concurrent was for Dungeonborn, like players run when it was on Steam?
I can actually look that up real quick.
Because I know people like attribute that to like it being really successful, but I honestly just attribute that to being like it's the only game like Dark and Darker on Steam.
Yeah.
It's probably free too, or some shit. Like that.
Yeah, I think it was a free play test.
Okay, I don't know. I have a pretty like straightforward take about this. Dungeonborn's dog shit.
If you're effing,
it's just I don't know what the hell this guy is doing, bro.
Steam charts is down for that Dungeonborn page, but I remember I forgot the concurrent viewer.
if you're effing, guys, just give it a sec. I will upload this after, so that won't be a problem.
Like when Dark and Darker was on Steam, it was like a nuts.
Just blame the room. Just blame the room.
Concurrent viewers, at least on Twitch.
Yeah. Kinda can't be done. Like, this fucking guy is still here, dude.
The ultimate griefer, man.
You can't even hit him because you got fucking 3 FPS in this goddamn fucking room, bro.
See, I said something about other people not liking rat rogues, and look what we run into. Look what we get.
Oh, Jesus, bro. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, some people in chat are gonna roll their eyes because I'm bringing up game dev, but oh my god, this guy's back, eh? Hit him.
I'm so close to being dead.
Hit him twice.
I'm like one hit. I'm just gonna record the camera here.
Oh my god.
I'm just punching him, bro.
Thank God.
Hit him.
I got a campfire.
Okay, campfire going down. Jesus Christ. Okay,
Dungeonborn,
it's so clear
yes.
to me. Okay, it's so clear to me that game exists purely because Dark and Darker does. Like, that's the only reason that Dungeonborn exists, is because of the success of Dark and Darker. There's no other reason that the game exists. It's not like there's a passionate team of game devs behind it. It's because there's a bunch of uncreative, money-grubbing motherfuckers who are trying to leech off the success of Dark and Darker, and it's so clear and evident to me. And everything I've seen of Dungeonborn is just dog shit. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. Like,
did you guys play the last playtest?
I can't. Yeah, I didn't. So.
Okay, so I did play the last play. I put a couple hours on there. I like wanted to give it an honest feel.
Yeah. See. Yeah, I just watched, so I can't say too much.
I
will say. Oh yeah, I'm feeling the breeze. I will say, it's not great. It's not great. I really wanted there to be like an honestly like good competitor to Dark and Darker, because like me personally, I feel like there's 2 driving factors for a quality product, right? You got passion, which you know, I'm gonna say the larger your team grows, if you grow it too fast, that will like it'll slowly lose. Like you slowly lose that passion. And then you have competition, which tends to last longer than passion for like a really big team. So I wanted there to be like Dungeonborn to like be neck and neck in terms of like gameplay and just like dungeon experiences with Dark and Darker. But I don't think it's there. It didn't feel like a completely new game. It didn't feel like self-inspired, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Mine Iron. Yeah, so like I know I've probably brought this up like a little bit or whatever, but like in my own stream and whatnot, like just from like I used to work with some guys that like they are there purely to like, you know, make some money, and they take their kids to like soccer practice afterwards, and they never even play video games. And I'm talking about like guys who are like designing classes, guys who are designing like systems, not just someone who's like an engineer who's implementing these things, but like people who are actually like impactful towards the game's like design itself, and they don't even play video games. Like they had no passion. Like they're simply there just because it's a well-made. Like that's the one thing you can't take away from Iron Base. Like, dude, like they have to be passionate, because there is like what other reason would they be there? Like as a developer, why would you stay there? It's probably like, you know what I mean? You got like Nexon breathing down your throat. You have a game that has the potential to at one point to never be released. So it's like the guys who
Yeah.
are actually going to be working on the game definitely are going to be the ones who care quite a bit. But I will agree, yeah, like maybe, maybe I have to kind of a little bit change my outlook on that about the competition thing. It's just I'm very biased against Dungeonborn because it just radiates to me. There's no iron in here, crazy enough. It just radiates to me bullshit. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But yeah, you're right. Competition is a good thing for sure.
They're gonna be like pretty far behind too, because a lot of people don't realize that Dungeonborn will have to go through the same like big balancing stretches that Dark and Darker went through. The whole like gear balancing changes. They're gonna have to go through like content droughts. I don't know. I just don't feel like the player base in general is gonna want to go through that same motion again for a game that so far seems like it's trying to replicate the experience of Dark and Darker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's its only identity. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to try it sometime. I've never really wanted to, but I probably will have to just at some point, just to know.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I hear like sometimes other people talk about some of the interesting systems with like blocking and parrying and whatnot, and how it has more depth, some of the combat, than Dark and Darker, and I'm just like, potentially, but is it fun? Like, does that combat that has a bit of depth, is it actually fun? I don't know. I've never tried it. But it's easy to argue that there's more depth because you can parry or do something, but does it translate into a game that's going to be like playable for a long time? I don't know. I'm just a guy that lives in the woods and clicks the play button on games. So like some of these things are just like, I play Dark and Darker because it's fun as fuck. Like, why wouldn't I? So Dungeonborn could be fun for certain people, but I don't think it'll have the same like just like pull that Dark and Darker has.
Yeah.
And they may accomplish exactly what they want to accomplish, which is like a small player base and a quick hit of players. Like maybe it's not a super large studio, they don't have a lot of expenses, they're just, you know, making something a little different and making some money. Like it could be successful doing that, but I don't think it's gonna be like a huge thing.
Yeah.
We'll see. I could eat my words.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's early on development. So.
Yeah.
Alright. What is the next one? Oh, we got the community topic.
First community topic.
Oh, shit.
Which one is the first one? It is
Grayson.
This one's pretty juicy. Yeah, this one's pretty juicy.
It's crazy you're adding a topic from Grayson when you yell at him all the time.
Remember, if anything bad in-game happens to you, it is Grayson's fault.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Grayson has hinted for, like, quite adamantly this week that there's something big that's coming. There's something big that's coming. I'm gonna be real. Like nothing like crazy comes to mind because I don't think he'd be referring to Druid being in the main game. I don't think so, right? So I don't know. Like, what do you guys think that could be? Because bro, I got no idea.
Well, I mean, the two big projects are Druid and Arena, right?
Arena.
Yeah.
And new map, maybe.
I don't consider those like big things though. Like we've known about them, so they seem small to me now. Like,
okay.
So you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
like map, Druid, some of those things don't feel like big. Like they're just like status quo, like we're expecting them. So if there's something like big things are coming, you're gonna know about them soon. It seems to me like it's something we don't know about, like something new.
Oh yeah.
But maybe I'm just like interpreting it wrong because like I feel like we already knew of those big things, so it'd be kind of like a little bit of a letdown. Like we already knew this map was kind of, we've already been able to jump around in there. We've kind of already got to see Druid, you know. Arena is like the one thing we haven't really got any information on. So when I think big things, I think of like something different than what we've already seen.
I see some people in chat saying it too, with like Epic and Steam.
Yeah.
Like
maybe it's like a water map where we can use Treant. And there's like sharks and stuff. And there's a shark form with penguin. Oh, there we go.
Wait, that's big.
Yep. Finally, we can use Treant. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. I don't think though. Okay. I'm pretty big on the hopium and copium, but I don't think it's Steam. I do think
Epic?
Steam could come out this year, but I don't think it's Steam. It could be Epic. It could be Epic. If I had to guess, it's probably like maybe the ice map with like the frost dragon, like maybe like an actual playable version. You know,
Hmm.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe I could see that, but yeah, I'm not too sure what it would actually be. Somebody said it was kind of hinted at community events. But you
Yeah,
could
I
say
see that a
the
lot in my
Ice
chat.
Dragon's
Yep.
a community event. You could say it.
Mhm.
You could say that, you know,
Oh, wait.
you need a little bit of a community to kill the Ice Dragon. So maybe it's
Oh.
an Ice Dragon event or something.
Wow, maybe it's a... Yeah, maybe it's like a 5-man raid.
God, that'd be so crazy.
Hmm.
Anything come to mind, Ron?
Oh, dude, I'm trying to think. Like, community event. That makes me think it's gonna be like something related to the arena.
Okay.
Just because.
That was my first thoughts, yeah.
Yeah, maybe some exclusive skin for, I don't know, some amount of arena wins or something like that.
Mhm.
Community event though, kind of, yeah, that mixes things up a little bit.
Okay. There is one thing I want to talk about today as well that I forgot. And we're kind of we're getting pretty yappy. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Okay. But they did confirm today, and I think some people don't know this, so it's actually be a good thing to talk about. They did confirm today for season rewards. They did.
Oh, yeah, right,
that's
yeah.
true.
That was in the patch. We'll just add it into the patch notes thing.
Yeah. Shoot. What do we think that's gonna be? They said it. They wanted to have it like be a theme.
Mhm.
Be more like
A
thematic.
theme.
Yeah.
Maybe something related to the Druid theme? What? Maybe, I don't know actually.
It's hard to say, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What theme could they take? Like,
Hmm.
I can't. Like, nothing really comes to mind when it comes, like, you know.
The scary thing is, like, I have no interest in getting demigod.
Oh,
And,
really?
and so it's like,
It's a grind. It's such a grind.
I don't really...
I have to.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned because I said this before, and then I did it anyway because it was like slightly achievable. The reward looks super cool, and then they're gonna try to sucker me in again with something cool, you know. So I'm concerned because it's gonna make me want to like try it, and I don't feel like if the game if the game stays the way it is right now, nothing changes. I don't think it'd be that fun. So yeah, there's like the
Another
anti-fun
soaking
part of it
damage.
is scary.
Yeah. It's I don't know. How many? They said maybe early June wipe, right? That was the original like estimate.
Early June, yep. That's what they said, yeah.
So like 3.5 weeks for
Something like
demigod.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I thought like some people, I haven't seen anybody be upset about it, but I was kind of thinking that some
Team, yeah.
I was thinking that some people might get upset at how like late, you know, the
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that too.
rewards, but
Mm-hmm. I honestly, it would kind of like, it would annoy me slightly. Let's just say that. Like if you're not playing this game every day and then you see rewards that are like super late and wipe and you're like, damn, I should have been grinding weeks ago. That was cool. It was a little frustrating.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
The one thing I'd love to see is either a golden lizard skin for demigod or a golden skelly. I think a golden skelly could go so crazy.
Golden
Golden
Skelly would be
Skelly.
I think
sick.
people would love that. I think they would love that. But maybe that's like too much of a reward. You know, the last one was capes, right, for demigod. So
Yeah.
it's hard to say.
You want me to just push these guys, or what are you thinking?
All right, hold on. Yeah, let me pot up and then.
You get an arrow right in your eyeball. Oh my
Okay,
god.
okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm potting up. Ryan, you want a buff, and then we just go. Fuck it, send it.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
All right.
I only see
Wilson,
2.
Send it in, dude. Let's get in there.
Ouch.
Oh, it's a double cleric.
One cleric really hurt.
Oh,
I'm gonna die though.
though.
These guys are full heal.
There's so much healing and shields.
These guys are
Holy.
full healed. Should be low on
Yep.
spells though.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Do you hear the voice? Oh my god, wait, come back, Ryan, if you can.
We tried.
Fuck you, bitch! I'll beat your dick right off your lip, Bobby! Come on, bring it on, push it! Huh? You gonna keep healing? You gonna keep healing, little bitty boy? Come on now!
Oh, I was getting pelted.
There's so many shields in that room.
Not hiding behind your teammates, huh? Such a fighter you are.
Oh, he's coming with the war maul.
My loot is so glitched right now.
You got a 1v1 on that guy.
We should have went after the fighter.
Oh wait,
I killed one.
They didn't push through the door. I'm coming back.
Hello!
Oh yeah, you guys got this now.
Come on, Mr. Fighter, you can do it, buddy.
Oh, I just don't.
Wait, what did he just press? Was that taunt? That poor man.
I agree, bro. Yeah, I got you. Take your time.
Was he raging?
Dude should be low unless they like full healed up.
Oh, that was nasty. Oh.
Oh, nice. GG's.
Oh no.
He's gonna have one back.
Oh yeah, baby.
Alright, family friendly. I'm switching POVs. Switching POVs.
On the main screen, bro. Come on.
Yep.
Oh.
God. Alright, so something coming in 24 hours.
24
yep.
hours.
Soapy just got reported, so maybe a ban. Maybe a ban. The next one I think is your... Wait, no, this is from mine, isn't it? Yes. The next topic from the community. I think we touched on all the things we thought for 24-hour drop, right? Epic. What else?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we covered it. Alright, so... The next one is character progression, multi-class, and talent trees. Yeah, this is one from my community, which is like super broad, but I think this goes back to something we talked about in the patch notes. Multiclassing is now gone. So like, what do they do with that? Like I know like everyone's first reaction, like the knee-jerk reaction to any time you mention something other than multiclassing is subclassing. Like, what does that mean? Like, does Slayer count as a subclass on Fighter already? Because when I envision a fighter, I envision like the shield, the sword, the plate, you know, having bow like a crossbow. But then, you know, you can kind of like subclass into like Slayer or maybe Ranger a bit with some of the Slayer stuff you get going on. Because sometimes, like, honestly, playing fighter feels like I'm just playing like a weird Ranger. If you take multi or weapon mastery and then all the speed perks and basically just run a bow and spear like I'm doing now. So I don't know, there's other classes that have like small little things built into them already that like make them feel like a different little subclass to their maybe the way they're designed. And like I don't know what people mean by like subclassing. Does that mean like you're subclassing into like another class, or like are you just improving the class you're already playing?
Different every time. I feel like half the time I hear people basically saying that subclassing is literally just multiclassing.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be like, oh yeah, like I want to subclass my ranger into a fighter. And it's like, but isn't that just multiclassing?
I know,
like,
so it confuses me.
Yeah.
I thought subclassing is like you're just creating a different version of the ranger. Like you're unlocking, like it's like a branch. Like you get to maybe spec into like more of like a melee ranger instead of like you know a range, like you know like a bow and melee. Maybe you're just more melee sided, or like basically the way that I play the game with double bow. Like maybe you're siding more into like double bow ranger, you know, something like that. Oh, ranger! Speaking of, ranger across the way, down to die.
Yeah, I have no idea where they go with it. Like talent trees and stuff. I remember they originally said like that whole talent system was just going to be like a way to improve your current perks and spells.
Yeah.
Which I think originally they got some like really bad feedback about it before it even came out, of course. And they kind of just like put it aside and tried this multiclassing. So I mean, it's weird because we never even get to see all of multiclassing, which I complain about all the time, which is that Grand Master dude and the new perks and skills that he gives us. There's part of the game we haven't even, like, part of multiclassing we never even got to see. Is this just a cleric? Oh no, it's a duo?
No, it's
a couple dudes in there. Yeah. One might be up top. One might be up the ladder.
Oh, it's a barbarian buffed up. Let's see how it is.
Yeah, it sounds like I feel like the idea that they had for the master guy or whatever probably changed like 10 times. Like, you know,
yeah,
it probably changed a bunch. You can
wait, there's another team behind us.
Oh,
over here.
oh shit.
We're gonna have to move. Yeah, let's go through here.
We can go back this way. I think we can flank these guys over here.
Sure.
Oh, I'm dead, yeah.
Because there's so many times where I feel like I'm.
Wait, what if we slow walk through the axes? There's no way they expect that. There's no
Alright.
way.
Just I'm gonna get hit by one.
There's no way. Oh, things are going down. Things are going down. I'm getting involved.
Well, you said slow walk. I'm a little bit behind.
They're one up top. I'm going up top.
Oh my god, going up top too. Everybody go up top.
Oh my god.
Everybody go up top.
Oh no.
Holy shit, what the fuck is going on?
Oh my god, dude.
There's a brawl down there. Don't go down there.
Frames are gone.
Don't go down.
Hello.
Yep, there's a rogue.
Holy shit. Oh,
There's literally just a rogue shanking everyone at the bottom of the stairs.
yep. Holy shit, that was too good.
Huh. But there's just back on subclassing. There's times where I feel like I can subclass kind of already. If they made some of the perk options, because remember like some classes had like more perks than other classes, and then they like kind of reined it all in with like giving rogue like some of their perks combined, and they said they wanted everyone to have the same amount of perks so that they could multi-class consistently or whatever. Remember they mentioned that how they're gonna like balance all the perks and skills to a certain amount. Sometimes I wonder like if they just gave us more perks and skills option, isn't it like you can pretty much already like subclass? Like if you had really strong options, like I mean Slayer is one of them. It's kind of like you're already playing a completely different class than a PDR fighter. It's a completely different game. So I don't know. I'm curious what like where they go, because I just feel like everyone's shouting subclass, but I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, I think everybody just has like or a lot of people just have like a different take on like what subclassing actually is. That's what it seems to be. Like nobody really knows exact form.
I think
subclassing.
it will be like interesting because like obviously they want this training thing to do something. I mean, it can't just be reward tokens. You know? Yeah, it can't just be reward tokens.
Talking about rewards.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think we covered it.
Yeah. All right, last one.
Multi-class. Maybe. Wait a second. Character progression. What does that mean? Is that just a different way of saying talent trees?
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to say like what the actual like player plays for, like how you progress.
Yeah, maybe that's something to do with like
like levels maybe.
The ranking system maybe too, like adventure rank and all that.
Oh, adventuring. How do you guys feel about that? Actually, it might be a bit of a tangent, but do you guys feel it's effective?
I kind of already listed it. Like, if there's rewards, I might try, but I don't enjoy it too much. Right now, it doesn't even matter because it doesn't split your. You don't play against. If you're a demigod, you don't play against demigod. You play against people with good gear.
Yeah,
like
you know, like it's really a, sign of skill anyway. But like, I feel like if the only reason that players are interacting with a system is because they might get rewards, it's probably a pretty bad system.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even now, like you don't even like get AP and rank up to fight better players because everyone's like gear based. So it literally is just for the rewards.
I see you kill.
Yeah, it's weird. I think that they're gonna iterate on it a lot. I think they would. So I don't know.
All right, I guess we got our last one. Our last topic. Whose is this? This is yours, Ryan?
This one is mine. Yeah, this comes from Johnny Mortal and the Return of Runes. What do we think it's gonna look like, or what do we hope it's gonna look like? What would be the ideal runes for us? Because I know one of the big reasons why they took it down was because some classes, I believe Rogue and Ranger, had too high of an advantage just based on the map design. Because it was a very traversable map, there are a lot of open stretches of just like land that I don't know range would be very strong on, and then with the Rogue, so many spots you could I assume you could glitch to jump up. I don't think they're intentional, but it just gave a lot of preference towards those two classes.
So I feel like Ruins, I think like the best way that I can put it, is that it felt like a good map, but it didn't feel like a good Dark and Darker map. It was like the one map that like when I was playing it, I'm like, okay, like
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 a Call of Duty map.
The level design, yeah, but it doesn't feel like I was playing Dark and Darker from like a level design perspective. It was more of a like you know, this feels like a map that could exist in a different game, but it's dark and darker mechanics that I'm using while I play on this map. That was the only thing, and like there was just like the way the match flowed. Like I would always just go to the center and go to PvP, and like the mobs were like a real big like nuisance on the map. Like for some reason with the way that like Ice Caves goes, like it's like there's so many mobs on Ice Caves, but I don't mind it for some reason. But on Ruins, it was a little like bleh. It was like ugh. Like, you know, the wisps, like all the wisps, even the mobs,
the wolves, the wolf den.
Yeah, like it just wasn't as enjoyable. But like the thing that I would like to see them change is for it to just have more of a dark and darker feel, which is probably like a lot to do with like it maybe feeling like a little bit more enclosed. And maybe even like revisiting some modules. Like, you guys remember that bridge that existed up top?
Yeah.
It was like that bridge, like with like 2 towers, like not the bridge that like you
could jump off it and like slam somebody.
The one that was in the playtest, again, not the one that like was in the last iteration that we played, but it was like off in like a more distant spot of the map. Yeah, like that to me like felt more. So like it felt more like dark and darker because it was like a more isolated area, even though it was in the open. Like there was like the verticality of the bridge up top was kind of like its own little area. It just felt like a little bit more condensed, even though there was still no ceiling. Something like that. Because I think Ruins is like, yes, it's too open, but it's not just so open because it just doesn't have a fucking ceiling. It just, the way the modules play out aren't isolated enough.
There's so many times where I would see people camp like even the current like ones that were lost in at the tower, like the I don't know what you call them, but the people would just sit up there. Like teams would sit up there and just like wait for some poor passerby on the bridge. But there is like a weird transition with like Ruins that's gone from like when like one of this, it had its own unique mob like boss, which was the worm. You know, Golem got introduced there, and Worm was supposed to, like, you could farm keys so you could loot the horde. And then a whole bunch of cheaters were like just looting the horde relentlessly and ruining the economy and RMTing. So they removed that, and then the Worm has never been fun. Like the rewards from Worm have been kind of garbage.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
So every time it felt like there was something to do in Ruins, it like had to get removed, or it just isn't, just never got improved. So there was also, I honestly, when Worm first came out and everyone was like hunting down those keys or trying to so they could get to the horde room, it was a ton of fun just running in there and just like smashing into people, like 1v3 even when they're fighting Worm, because it was new. No one really knew how to fight it. It was just like a lot of fun. But there's so many things they took out of that map. They just like left it like an open ranger and rogue kind of paradise. And there's no focus for so long. Like, what do you even do there? Like, what's your end goal if you go in Ruins? It's just a fight, right? Like, it's just a PvP dome, I think, for most people. So, other maps like Goblin Caves have their bossing. I mean, Howling Crypts has their bossing. Ruins just didn't have anything, really. And then they tried to do, like, the Ruins into Howling Crypts, and it just felt like a stepping stone into the map you actually want to play.
Oh.
You know? So, I don't know, like, it needs to have some sort of focus, you know?
Somehow got me. I don't know how that got me.
It needs to have a focal point of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what I've noticed is I think a lot of the, like, the PvP, like, addicts or whatever, like, really liked Ruins.
Yeah.
But the people who, like, you know, like to have a little bit more of a, like, more fleshed out, darker experience, like, tended to, enjoy, like, maybe the other maps a little bit more.
Yeah, because you could just, like, skip modules in Ruins. Like, jump over the wall, and you're, like, 3 modules through in the first 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, I wish that they had more underground spots. Like, that whole mummy spider room, like, incorporating that into Ruins makes it feel like a more full map. But Wilson's right, like, without that kind of stimulus, you know, without something to do on that map, it just like doesn't feel complete. I think there's modules that I have literally spent like maybe a total of like 30 seconds in all my games. Like 8 of those outside modules.
So in saying that, do you think they add like I mean, they added the worm, I thought, for it to be it's like a unique boss there or something. That's like a mini boss, I guess you could say. But do you think they add like an actual like, I mean, we have Cave Troll, we have Cyclops, we have the 3 hell bosses. Do you think Ruins needs like a big, like its own boss? Because Frost Ice Abyss has like Wendigo is pretty tricky for players if they're learning it, and then we're gonna get Wyvern, and I think Yeti's being added.
One, though, right? It's just kind of forgettable. It's that rock golem guy. Right?
Well, the rock golem, yeah, it's like a sub boss too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of forgettable.
So like we're gonna have multiple layers to ice.
Yeah.
The cockatrice, true. Yeah, all these sub bosses.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna have all these layers to like. I mean, Goblin Caves doesn't really have a layer because it's a solo map. But does Ruins have another layer? Like, is it just an individual thing, or does it get tagged onto another map? Like,
yeah, it's hard to say.
Weird.
Like, for me, Ruins always was the map that I had to go through to play the map that I wanted.
Yeah,
so.
and I know that's like gonna be hard to escape that feeling, you know.
Yeah. Minotaur, yeah, Squeedles is Minotaur, yeah. I would love, like,
oh, yeah.
if there's any map to have a looming boss, it would be, or sorry, not looming, Roman boss, it would be Ruins. I think that could work really well.
Looming, like he's just lurking around. You never know where he is.
I think that could be a really cool thing to actually have the
roaming bosses.
Roaming boss to be on Ruins. That could be its thing. You know what I mean? I think that'd be cool. So.
There's so many different like beasts they could add to. Maybe I don't know. I always thought it'd be cool if they did like if they had. This is just a weird idea for Ruins I always had when it first came out. If it was like it changed like seasonally, so you had like a winter version of that map, like a fall version, a spring version, summer version. So like every time you queued into Ruins, you could get like ice mobs or springtime has different stuff. Maybe the water levels are really really high in spring, so like the whole map's different.
You really want the Trant to be good, okay.
Well, I don't know if you ever played Banjo-Kazooie, but they have the seasonal part of that game where you're playing the same map, but it changes seasonally, and it's always like super fun, super cool. You see the same stuff, but it's like slightly changed because of the season. Like you can't. The squirrel is sleeping in its nest in the winter, you know, and you go back in the spring, and you're like, oh fuck, I can talk to the squirrel now. Anyway, I just thought it'd be cool because Ruins, like, if it's an individual map, it'd be kind of a neat way to spice it up, like Frost Wolves, maybe like Ice Mages. They could even throw in like some of the Yetis and stuff in the winter version. You know?
Dude, that's actually okay. So that's something that I was thinking about. Like, how can we like spice up the current existing maps? And there was just different mobs, right? But we don't even have to make new mobs. We could just put, like, you know, you could sometimes on crypts there might be some goblins, right? Maybe thematically it doesn't really make sense or whatever. I don't know if people genuinely care about that. But yeah, I really like the idea of the mobs for Ruins. Like, I think this idea, like you said, could be good on Ruins, where, you know, if it's
the map stays the same.
Time in Ruins, you get the ice mobs. If it's, you know, spring, you get goblins. You know, any other, maybe it's just the skeletons. That's actually pretty cool, dude.
I just love snow and like footprints in the snow. You know, it's kind of cool. Maybe like a whole change.
Why would I take my chase perk? Why would I take my chase perk?
Yeah, exactly. You get it for free. Yep.
All right.
Wait, do you guys think that PvE should be more complex? Like right now, it's kind of like on most maps, kind of an afterthought, right? Like there's no like real, unless you're bossing, of course. But baseline, even up to like the semi-boss level, Skeleton Champ and Wraith, they're all kind of like, I don't know, they're all kind of solved. There's nothing real hard about them. Maybe if someone ambushes you while you're fighting like a bunch of them, it becomes a problem. But for the most part, I don't think anyone's getting killed by PvE. It should be harder.
So the one thing I'll say, I actually don't know, because like you know, the average player or whatever might that might be way too hard. But again, I don't think they mind dying to PvE as much as they mind dying to players. But I love, my favorite place to play in this game is Inferno, HR, because the mobs are actually a threat. Like it's so much fun.
You can make mistakes.
1v3s or our 3v3s in hell, because the mobs actually have an influence in the fight, even if people are like slightly geared. Like if we're fighting a team or whatever, and like they accidentally pull that Thanos behind them, our chances of winning the fight, even if they're geared, go up. Right? Like it goes up. Maybe it doesn't guarantee a win, but it goes
I think that
up.
happens sometimes in Ice Caves as well. Like Ice Caves can be one of those maps that if you kill a kobold and he calls the rest on you, it can screw your team fight up pretty bad. So you like have to clear. Like you you have to clear quickly, and I wouldn't say the mobs are that difficult in ice caves, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I didn't really get this impression before. I mean, I used to watch a lot of people do like trio bossing and stuff and think like, damn, that looks so cool, like it's so difficult. And then after playing with you guys, it's like, okay, maybe Lich and Ghost King are a little too easy. And like Skelly Warlord's maybe how it should be.
Yeah.
Maybe that's too hard, I don't know, but I also this is kind of rambling on, but like there's a lot of people that talk about it recently about increasing artifact drop rate, and like would you make bosses harder but have like a higher drop rate so people actually can get them? Because I've seen some crazy stuff, like this is off topic, but people saying they like literally farm bosses for 500 hours and never get one. Like is that good or bad? I don't know, but I think there's certain places they could definitely make them more difficult.
Yeah, so the only thing I'll say about making mobs harder or whatever, or, you know, making bosses even harder, there's such a vast majority of this player base that doesn't even interact with that content because it's already too difficult. So, like, I've been doing a lot of spectator games, and, dude, like, Wolf reminded me of this in chat, and I watch these guys, and they're playing normals, and they die to the first mob they encounter in normals, right? And that's not uncommon. Like,
oh, your team. Nice.
I'm telling you, man. Like, if you just look in a normals game, these guys are dying to the first mob they encounter. So, like, I'm okay with making mobs more difficult. But that might make the experience crazy for some of these guys. Like, they might not even be able to, like, they learn anything because they're already having a hard time. So I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Hard to say.
They're sprinting at us.
Oh, okay. Ryan, do you have any healing?
No healing.
Alright, I'm dropping a stack here.
Oh, my hero. Oh, it went inside the corpse. So I don't loot it.
Unfortunate.
Cook these dudes in.
Both
the second wave.
Caster's behind. Wilson, they're both on you.
Oof, he's too slow. Those frames though, holy. It's so hard to play Spear when you're like 10 frames. It's crazy. I'm like recording and streaming at the same time too, so it's rough.
Oh, never mind. Popped him in front of one.
Oh no.
I did a lot of damage.
Yeah, those axes are hurting.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if they make mobs harder, it's like... Also, dude, the Goblin Caves is so laggy right now.
Oh, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, this room is like insane.
Crazy. Alright, little Wilson 1v3, it's your turn.
Oh,
yep.
I'm so dead.
Put the pressure on when he's 10 HP. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's really hard to say with the whole mob thing. I don't know, dude.
Alright.
Really hard to say.
Well, we've been... What has this been, like an hour? Just over an hour and 15 minutes, I think.
Damn, I knew we'd yap too long.
We're yapping, man. It's good though. It's it's like a filling out process. So I don't know if you guys want to do like one from chat, like one good one. Yeah. So there's probably a few good ones in the mainstream. People are suggesting that there's a random Soapy NPC that roams the map, giving out random quest challenges for the party, running with good rewards. I don't think they're going to consider that anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Sounds boring.
As happy as that makes me, that's a little crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's one over there you guys are noticing that's coming up a lot, but we could like spend like 5 minutes on it and then call it a day.
I got one. I think this one's pretty good. Like I haven't seen it like discussed too much, but we'll see. So Giggle is asking, on a reel, should the devs listen to the community about changes, or should they stick to their vision about the game wholeheartedly? So that's like something that always gets like thrown in every now and then in a discussion, but it's like never like the focal point of like when people are talking about Dark and Darker.
Yeah.
I do think the devs, again, I think the devs communicate a little too much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They tell us too much, and I think they also listen a little too much as well. It's like a little bit of both. So, like
Mhm.
in my opinion, I would like to like I think they've started to be a little bit more resolute in their their decisions, and like they only reel in the things that like really aren't working well. Like I think it made sense for them to listen to the community about multi-classing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, I
Okay,
think
yeah.
it made sense. But yeah, I think
One
in my opinion, it's not so much that they listen too much; it's that they definitely talk too much to us. Like they
Yeah, it's kind of funny
sometimes.
because the one time like Terrence was in my chat on YouTube, I literally asked him like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And he was like, "I'm so vain. I'm so vain. I just want to know what people thought of the patch." And it's because I had my YouTube title at the time, like like reading patch notes and just discussing it. And he was
Yeah.
just sitting there lurking, like listening to and reading, like taking in all this feedback. So they obviously care a lot. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
there are certainly times where I'm just like, they get so excited about the things they want to share, and they almost dig their own grave when it comes to like the expectations, right?
Yeah.
It's like they get so excited, they sit in a podcast, they sit in a Q&A, and like they want to like tell us all these fabulous things they're working on because they're excited about them, and then the community gets them and they're like, well, we can't wait. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, why do you share this with us if it's not here yet? And so it's like a catch-22. It's like they're excited, they're passionate, they want to share the things they're excited about, and then the community is just like, well, we need it now, and they even admit it. The pressure is like more than they expected. So I wouldn't mind if they like I think right now we're kind of in a stretch where it feels kind of quiet in terms of like the past couple of weeks with multiclassing. I really don't think it hurts to be a little quieter on some of those things. And I think the original question was like, should they just make their game? Yes, but someone in my chat said then we wouldn't have solos. Because
True.
originally the big feedback item, I remember like I was one of the people sitting on the side of like, we don't even need tros. This game's just so or solos. This game is just so good.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
give it to me like that, and I'll just take it. But obviously, I think they made a good decision with solos. So there are definitely some feedback things that they can do. It's like a weird mix. I just hate seeing them get so excited for something and sharing it with us, and then for the next like 2 months, everyone like begging for it and shitting on them for not having it done. It's like, they're just trying to get us excited for things to come, which can hurt a little when it takes a while.
Mm.
Do you think they should share like a roadmap, or do you think they even? I guess they could make a decent roadmap now, at least like what they're working on. But do you think that they
Oh, they
should
for
make that?
sure have one. They for sure have one. I don't know if they want to show it. You know, maybe with no dates. No dates.
Yeah, no dates.
Please, Terrence.
Yeah.
No dates, but maybe. I don't know if they should ever show that though. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of like newer game, like at least I've seen like game devs like that like specifically don't want to share roadmap because it can lead to like just problems. Like they just things they
Yeah.
didn't expect that they were gonna have to do. I mean, you think of all of like these like live service games and stuff. Like, I mean, when Battlefield drops, they have like, oh, here's all the content coming out, and then the game just plummets, and they're like, oh yeah, well, yeah, shit, we're gonna do that next time. Like the whole like the staff just gets destroyed. Like they don't actually get to do what they want because the game's not as successful as they thought, and so many things can change. I feel like more games are getting away from doing that at all. It's just like they're not putting any real crazy amount of weight into these anymore. But maybe I'm wrong. I just think it's risky now with how quickly and volatile things can change. Like look at Helldivers, look at Tarkov. I mean,
Oh yeah.
so many things can change so quickly. Like why would a game dev want to like why would I mean they like Helldivers for example, they kind of got the rug pulled from Sony. It wasn't even their choice. But Iron Mace is different. They're their own studio. They can do what they want. But I wouldn't put out a roadmap. I don't think.
Yeah.
It is funny because remember when they showed it on the podcast? Like they're on the podcast and they're sitting in the room in SDF first time we get to see them. They were like, "Oh, let's look at our board and see what's written," and everyone's like trying to find the reflection in the back, like, "Oh fuck, like what's on that board?"
Yeah.
So they definitely have one. They definitely have one. It's just like
yeah.
I don't think they should share any of that. No,
All
keep
right.
that to themselves.
All right, boys.
I think that's
it.
I think we covered it all. In record
Yes.
time, an hour and
Record
27 minutes.
Fuck. Yeah.
That's good though.
Gotta
That's the
keep it
first
under an
one.
hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll try to going forward, but it's not too bad. I think there's lots of things to work out, but what should we do for our final goodbyes? Like,
Hey, you want to have an outro cooked up?
I gotta look up some like Norm Macdonald style jokes about the community. Like, you know how he does like those the SNL skits where it's like he says something really kind of like linking things together with the dark community would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
that's for a different
sweet old
time.
chat. He's just saying, play the intro again. I was
The
saying we
intro.
gotta watch it again. We gotta watch it again.
Play the intro again. All right.
Yeah, play the intro
But
again.
if anyone doesn't know, both you guys have YouTubes. I have a YouTube. We have Twitch. So if anyone's watching this, follow. Not Brian. It's Ryan. 6 days a week. Seriously, Soapy, myself, all of us. Please, we're desperate. Soapy's rich, but that's about it.
Yep. Millionaire Twitch partner. Yeah, we gotta get these guys millionaire Twitch partner. Yes.
The Shawarma King.
Shawarma King.
King.
Shawarma sushi, dude.
All right, boys. Thank you
I'm
so
calling
much
it.
for tuning
Thanks,
in
chat.
to the,
Yeah,
to the
thank you,
Dark
chat.
and Darker podcast, The Gathering Hall. You are incredibly kind and enormously well endowed. Ryan, I don't know if you wanna send it with the intro again. I think everybody wants to see it again, bro. That shit was crazy, dude. That shit was crazy.
I'm down. And also, if you guys do not know, anyone who's in the audience right now, if you want to submit your topics and questions, visit any of our Discords. I think this is a good format. We kind of come with our own topic and then grab one from each of our communities. I think that worked out well. Well, you know what? Next time we will get like a live audience submit your questions, and then we'll like have a polling vote at the end too. I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Because I felt bad. Anyone that is listening and I ignored during the duration of this podcast, it was strictly for the YouTube recording. I didn't want to like respond to questions that you couldn't see on screen. So sorry, anyone that I ignored. I did see your questions. I saw the chat going by. Saw some people getting a little mad. I apologize. It was for the YouTube cut. I swear. I don't hate you. But yeah, pay attention to that. We'll get some announcements going out to the community. But yeah, if you do want to ask any questions or topics, go to Soapy, Wilson's, or my Discords. There'll be a separate tab for that, and just like put it in there.
Cheers, folks.
Right.
Thank you.
Cheers, gamers.
Yep. Intro.